Super Street the game is 2 years old by now. It feels like yesterday when we were all hyped to see a new competitor in the video game market. All the disappointment that came from that still hurts to this day. In this video I will be talking about the company behind the game, Team 6, the hype that Super Street received and why the game is as bad as it is.
Team 6 was founded by Ronnie Nellis in the year 2001. This Dutch company has been developing racing games ever since their first official title. Since then, they have released over 80 games, mostly racers. Their most notable achievements being their involvement in the Monster Jam games and newer entries in the Flatout series. They've also partnered with car brands such as Fiat, Opel, and Mercedes-Benz. At this point, Team 6 is home to 4 different development teams. So why has no one heard of them? Why does their website only show 14 games? Simple really. Team 6 is one of those early 2000s Euro shovelware developers. They mostly did contract work for bigger companies and released many small, terrible, but cheap games for clueless adults to buy for their kids. This was a common thing in the early 2000s, before digital distribution really took off and small indies were making cheap and high quality games. In 2018, Team 6 decided it was their time to enter the market with a new series published and developed under their own name. The market was perfect. EA hadn't released a good Need for Speed in years, and the Crew series was, well, the Crew, and Forza was too corporate. People were clamoring to have the old Need for Speed Underground vibe that they had grown up with. Their vision was decent. The idea was there, although limitations such as mediocre graphics and unlicensed cars were obvious, but people were willing to forgive such things. Most people hadn't heard of Team 6's rather shady and shameful past of bad games, and even those who did were willing to let it slide if the game was good. There were doubters, and higher-end racing game content creators advised caution. But some hype was there. It was all but good. Whether they never intended to make a good game, didn't know how, or stumbled somewhere during development, something went wrong somewhere. Super Street, the game, was then released in late 2018.
This covers the game post major update, as there was an update that some people claim fixed the game. From the very start, everything felt cheap and pointless. You get thrown in a garage with some rusty cars, no foreplay, no story, no explanation. The entire 8-car roster was present already, which is a very badly designed way to show a tiny car list. To their credit, there was a classic Need for Speed style intro section driving a fully tuned car, but that felt so flat I almost forgot to even mention it, plus it is skippable. You get these 8 rusty abortions of classic tuner cars, all of which seem to have been made intentionally terrible. The buying experience is so weird, it's like the game is some parody, and of course there are no humans visible in the entire game, besides your crew members who are all scantily clad women sitting in your garage and These women don't do anything, by the way, they just sit around. You randomly unlock them and they just hang in your garage. Does the protagonist do human trafficking? I don't know, but these girls sure don't exit the garage. This kind of reminds me of Street Racing Syndicate, a 2005 game that tried to cash in on the Need for Speed Underground hype. That game, which was a flop but still much better than Super Street, at least had the women act as more than eye candy, where they gave you certain missions in exchange for companionship and money. The one semi-unique feature in Super Street was done better in 2005. Super Street does not look good as the low budget was clearly used badly. Looking bad can be forgivable as long as the game feels good, right? So, how does it feel? The driving is terrible to a point where most mobile racers feel better. Have these people ever played a racer or driven a car? The cars feel like you have some form of super traction control, making proper sliding impossible. You can get nitros by drifting and by hitting random stuff, which isn't even real drifting since the handbrake is fake. It doesn't actually stop the rear wheels and calculates what will happen if you cut the rear wheels while driving. All it does is slightly move your car to the side or slow you down really slowly. You need to keep it pulled for a while to get any effect. This is about as smooth as sandpaper. Steering as much as possible while going fast results in two of your tires supposedly losing grip as they drift along, yet you aren't losing grip. This is counted as drifting though, since you earn nitros. Hitting objects is also borked, since if the object doesn't get out of your way, not only do you get an unholy amount of boost from it, but you also get to experience the amazing sound design by the expert sound designers at Team 6. The physics feel childish and cartoony, they look the part too. In the end, nothing about driving in this game makes you feel exhilarated. It solidifies the feeling that you're grinding through races just to gather cash in order to make your car look that tiny bit better. The racing is filler. Let that sink in. The racing in a racing game is filler. There is also plenty of irony in the game's design, as you may have noticed. It has ridiculous grip and some form of brake to drift, distraction bonuses and even takedowns. It feels like it's trying to play like a classic Burnout with Need for Speed Underground themes, yet it's failing miserably at both ends. Also, if you buy a car and then you buy another car and you fully upgrade both with the best engine and everything available in the performance tab, both of the cars are gonna be the exact same thing. Graphics wise, the game looks worse than many mobile games out there. There is almost no sense of speed and the nature's effectively laughable. There's no juice to the game. Nothing feels or looks impactful and nice. Similarly, all the visual design is just uninspired. No color palette, no uniqueness, blatant copying of assets. They could have effectively used their budget to have some style and or vibe, but it feels like zero effort was put forth. It's charmless in a way that even Need for Speed Heat isn't. Heat might have a dead world where not much happens, but the Miami setting has its 80s aesthetic and there's a specific color palette which gives it a certain mood. Music selection and the size of the soundtrack is also very important, as is where this soundtrack is placed in the game. This game works just like a mobile game and throws lackluster stock music at you instead of proper soundtrack. Even worse, there's less than 10 songs, so you better like every single one of them. You'll be hearing them a lot, unless you mute the music, which you thankfully are able to do. On a more positive note, this game does not completely lack redeeming qualities. Customization is actually fairly well done. Visually, car parts are well modeled, and there's just the right amount of bumpers, spoilers, lights, and performance parts such as exhausts, coilovers, and more. Some might not be priced correctly, and many expensive upgrades are not worth it since the cheap counterparts perform the exact same, but it's there as a feature and it works. Although it's important to add that the game lacks a vinyl editor. It even lacks the ability to add simple decals on some specific places on the car. in a tuning-focused game released in 2018. Allow me to remind you that this game cost $50 when it came out, and it still costs 25 euros. And yes, it's been over 2 years and no music was added, no vinyl editors exists, all they did was port the game to Switch basically, and added the ability to own multiple cars at some point. Map-wise, the game has 6 settings. Small outskirts town, the big city, Mexico City, the desert, and the Bay Area. And this forest place too. All 6 are so mediocre in graphical quality and so indistinct that I thought there were 3. Things don't feel grounded. All of these places are clearly made for a game and nothing else. There's no personality to them, no specific color palette makes them disorienting at times too. Just taking a small look at the maps, you can instantly tell that this is an indie game made in Unreal Engine. It's missing the charm that even the dead world of Need for Speed Heat provides. As I mentioned previously, Need for Speed Heat at least has a specific color palette at play, including pink for example, which you can see on a lot of different objects and places in the game. Super Street does not have a set color palette, everything is just there, and that disorients the graphics and unbalances a lot of things that could potentially look good. This translates to the UI as well, as it's way too simple for a 2018 title. The UI also sometimes can be a bit confusing. Like in the customizations tab, why are the lights so important that they are out of the exterior tab? To sum up the UI, they had to make something much more interesting and good looking than AAA. Kind of like how when you go to the pause menu in Hit you see your car from the side and there's 3 pictures behind the car shedding light over it. Those little details matter on an indie title. When the AAA is doing something better than you will simply not be in favor by the community. AI is also crucial in a racing game, so how does Super Street measure up? AI in this game is annoying all around. Traffic AI is very broken and weird. It usually doesn't work right, some crash into each other and they do really weird maneuvers half the time. The racing AI is similarly accurate. They usually do not acknowledge your existence and play dirty tricks and ram you off the road if you're close to them due to their ignorance. Playing this game on normal, hard or hardcore is basically asking to get overly frustrated. The AIs are brutal and the game's stingy enough with money that you will, at the start of the game, not be fast enough to be able to run from them. Normally this frustration can work if there's good music to calm you down, and also looking at nice graphics will give you a more enjoyable experience in general. Super Street of course lacks these features, so I decided to play the game on easy for that reason. Yet I sometimes still get rammed off, though it's less frustrating. As you can see, they can do vinyls and have done so on some special cars, like this retarded Lambo Camaro mix. It's been 2 years, why haven't they made a vinyl editor? I basically finished the game in under 6 hours. It's very dry of content for a €25 game, let alone a full price release. The very last race is witty, since I'm up against the forefront Super Street car, this BRZ looking thing, with the driver's name being Ronnie, the founder of Team 6. Although this race gives the most money and was kind of hard, it had a lot of physics complications. And nothing else was special about this race. It was just normal, and there wasn't even an ending to the game as far as I can tell. I'm not going to bother finishing any other race in this game since I've done the last one. The disappointment came from everywhere. YouTubers, customers, Steam reviews, comment sections, forums. There was a considerable amount of dislikes on some simple gameplays of Super Street 2. They were bombarded with reviews and gameplays compiling and presenting every negative aspect of the game. One of those YouTubers was Craptastic Jack. Here is his opinion on the game.
Right, what is there to say about Super Street the game? The game, from its very announcement, drew a lot of criticism. You could see that this game is just not going to be good. I mean, the writing was on the wall. Once you found out that Team 6, the development studio that's known for just pushing out garbage for probably as long as I've been alive, once you saw that they were the people, the driving force behind Super Street the game, you could tell that this wasn't going to be a good game, regardless of, it doesn't matter how much community backing they tried to get by having the community managers and everything on the Discord and everything. And there was no chance that this was gonna be a good game, because Team 6, their track record just shows that it just wasn't possible with them. And then when the game came out, I played it for like literally less than 2 hours. I accidentally pressed the G key thinking it was nitrous, and that just enabled the car to drive on its own. I don't understand. From those 2 hours, I could tell that this was not a $50 game. This is not a $20 game. This is not a $10 game. This is a game that I just didn't want it's just a game that I wanted my money back from, you know? This wasn't a game, like, worthy of just me even covering. Like, it's just awful. And it, like, I play a lot of crappy games. I don't typically refund games that I buy. I usually actually keep them. I try to build up a library of just a bunch of garbage games, because I know that a lot of the times they're getting taken off Steam, and I'm gonna be one of the only people that has them. But games like Super Street, they were funny to poke fun at, but I was also angry that I spent $50 on it, and I wanted that $50 back.
And now, a beautiful comment section reading.
Why are people comparing this with Underground 2? Definitely worth $50. Is this a PS Vita game? Cause it looks like it. Surprised face. I'd rather shower in bleach and have Tide Pods for my dinner than play this game. This game would be groundbreaking if it was released 10 years ago. When I saw this on Instagram as an ad, I instantly went to the App Store and found out it was a console game. Good, but where are the pilots? Actually, we are invisible. Owie, oof, ouch, ouch. My PC version. So fake cars? Not interested. I'll just play GTA if I want to customize fake cars. At least GTA's fake cars look like what they're copying. Super Street is focused solely on cars and has no excuse for this late 90s game ideology. GTA can get away with fake cars because it's not a car-specific focused game like NFS or Horizon, for example. I don't care how exceptional customization is. I don't want to customize a fake car that looks like a Mustang with a jar clip. That's just insulting. I miss Underground. Everything is dead!
A Steam review reading by Rapid Kebab.
Okay, so in this game, driving fast is not fun at all. The customization is great, but the driving physics is just disgusting. Even those free racing games that I have on my phone have way better physics than this game. Like, guys, come on. The driving system is something that need to be reworked ASAP. At $2.5, it's a surprisingly decent game. Buy it at that price only if you have run out of racing games to play. Pretty bad TBH. Jeff, this game is possibly one of the worst racing games I have ever played. There are worse games, yes, but they usually price themselves at a couple cents or $1 maybe. But this game has the audacity to charge $50, yet you get a game where your car can't turn and the physics are god awful. The customization is really good, but that doesn't mean anything when you can barely drive. Here's a quick summary of what I think of the game so far. The good, customization. The bad, price, gameplay, unlicensed cars, AI, rubber banding, and so on. Recommended, 10 out of 10, only for how much the physics have made me laugh. Not recommended, 15 hours on record, dumb. Not recommended. Car physics are horrible, budget spent on Pimp My Ride customization for real brand name parts, and even that poorly implemented.
I thought that the best way to represent this game, I shouldn't only play a large percent of the career mode, but to also play online multiplayer as well. Now, with nobody playing this game online, I needed to find someone to play with. So I thought, who better than the game's #1 fan, DDG28.
I do it hard, I do it right. Girl suck my dick, she love the shit. Don't fuck with me, or get punched, bitch. Racing is life, all day and night. I do it hard, I do it right. Girl suck my dick, she love the shit. Don't fuck with me.
So, as any totally sane person would do, I challenged the man to race me in the game. See, he has a lot more experience with the game, and I hadn't even upgraded my car since I couldn't be bothered to, as single player doesn't inspire me enough, nor does it give me a reason to. So it's just common sense that he would obliterate me. That I think we all expected out of these people. I'm just happy I even came close with a slower car and no skills. This game is so weirdly balanced that there's no real skill in play. You just learn how to take corners without dying, and that's it.
You got Ricy in this.
These pieces of shit, they're everywhere in this map. For fuck's sake, get on the same thing! Yeah, cool.
DDG28 is honestly a mastermind. His reasons for defending and indeed preferring Super Street over other games such as Hit, which is like a comparison between being stabbed and shot, are truly stellar and very clear to understand and agree with.
You can do this shit all day long. Just jump off this cliff right here and just fall. Ah! My favorite thing about this game. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Damn. Oh my god. See that? Now you see why I love this game? Now do you see why I love this game? I love it. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh my god, man.
His motivation is wild and his content is very educational and approachable.
Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy DDG28 here. Welcome back. This is legit news, dude. This is legit news from DDG28 coming straight from me, okay? You know EA and freaking Ghost Games? Well, you know Need for Speed Studio? Well, if you go in Need for Speed Studio and you go unlock a supercar, the freaking cinematic of the fades of all the freaking things, so what it shows it like and all stuff like that. Well, in the beginning, when you had the music turned on, you literally hear a woo! You hear that woo!
This isn't in his nickname, Dubstep Dancer Gamer 28, but he also sings as well. How can anyone resist such a male with hits like...
Yeah, hey.
This is a certified hood classic.
It's a hood classic, motherfucker. Hey, beats. Yeah. Oh. Ho. Like a boss.
And these...
Get the fuck out my car. I told my bitch to get the fuck out my car.
And this...
Yeah. Hey. Go. Yeah.
One of my personal favorite parts of his videos, the outro. Anyhow, if you wish to watch the full video of us racing, I'll upload my side as an unlisted video in the description. Or you could hop into DDG's channel and watch his edited side of the duel.
And as we all expected, Ricy is a loser virgin.
I'm sorry, but I had to post this. Goddamn, look ripped. Scream emoji, hugger emoji, fire emoji. I swear I look like a fucking bodybuilder. Exclamation mark, joy emoji. Hashtag 6, hashtag awesome, hashtag grip, hashtag muscle, hashtag 2-pack abs, hashtag insane, hashtag beastie, hashtag impressive, hashtag like a boss.
BT go home with your dog ass. Boy, you know you gone with your dog ass.
The sad part is, revisiting my whole gameplay experience, 90% of the times I enjoyed myself in the game was because of bugs or things not going or looking as they should. This game is an incomplete package that you pay full price for. And the bare minimum of things it does badly. It really shows how little effort was put into this game, although I cannot completely disregard Team 6's attempt to bring back the classic arcade racing